After 40, never share these 5 things with anyone. You see, as we get older in life, we tend to evolve, but sometimes we get the same results because we don't know how to position ourselves and to make a better improvement of our life. So today I want to talk to you, after 40, 5 things that you should never share. First thing is, don't share too much of your past with people, because sometimes people will lock you in a parameter, whereas they look down on you based on the things that you may have done in your past, not knowing that you're a totally different person today. The person you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you have evolved and you become a better version of yourself. But guess what? The information that you shared with them, for some odd reason, they lock you in. They constantly have these negative thoughts about you because it depends on what you shared. And not only that, they will use it as a weapon to weaponize you whenever they can't manipulate you, or whenever they're trying to hurt your feelings, or whenever the time comes for them to use it against you. The whole point is, just be careful with these people that you share your information with, because any information that you release out here, you can't take it back. Whatever you share, you can't unshare it, right? So it's kind of like me. I'm a YouTuber. I create videos. I talk about my life experience. I speak on motivation, inspiration, and awareness, right? And there are certain things in my past that I have gone through, and I come up here and I speak on it, right? And so whatever information I put out here will be used against me. So the thing is, I am selective on what information I should share, even though my channel is about, becoming a better version of ourselves. And there's no way I can come up here just speak on motivation without throwing my life experience in there. But I don't share what I don't want people to know. I only share what I can afford to put out there, if that makes sense, right? So just be careful of what you put out here. Be careful on who you share your information with, because people will create a profile on you, okay? They will create it. And when the time is right, is when they will use it against you. The second thing is your finance. Be careful of how you share your finance with people. If you're in a bad time where you don't have it, and your lack of funds, and you feel like you're at your lowest point in life, be careful of those who you share those information with. When desperation hits, they will use your vulnerability, and this is what they will use to manipulate you in the best way possible. Okay? And I know you're probably going to say, yes, I need it. And you don't care what you do at the time because you need it. But let me tell you something. When they help you out and they hold it against you and over your head, and before you know it, every time you're trying to get by with your life, they have to remind you, or perhaps they want you to do something for them. And before you know it, every day, weekly, yearly, you're paying yourself off, right? Because of what they have, helped you with over the past, or whatever that is. The whole point is, when you're vulnerable, people will use money to weaponize you. You got to be careful with that. On the flip side of that, what about when you are financially stable, when you have money, when things is going right for you? You also have those people that will study you, and they know what you have. And guess what? Problem will start to pop up, and they will know how to come to you and ask you and try to pull all they can pull out of you, because they know that you're financially stable. So again, it's both ways. On your vulnerability side, and as well, when they know that you have it and you talk too much and you put too much out here, they will know how to position themselves. So they may not ask for it directly and say, can I borrow some money, or can I have this? They'll say, well, my rent has to be paid, or my car isn't working, or I need help with childcare, or I need to do my hair, or something happened to one of my kids. Like, it's just constantly, so they'll use different tactics and strategy just to pull it out of you. Another thing, when people come to borrow from you, don't give what you can't afford to lose, okay? So this means if you can afford to give away $1,000, even though someone may say, well, I want to borrow $1,000. If you know deep in your heart that you can afford to give away $1,000 or $500 or $300, just don't look for it, even though in the back of your head they told you that they will give it back to you. Because let me tell you, families or friends, these are what breaks relationship and friendship, because sometimes people come to you when they need help and they know that they don't have it, but because they want it, they tell you any means necessary what it's going to take to get it, not knowing that they weren't going to repay you for it, right? And this right here messed up a lot of relationship. So don't give what you can't afford. Okay? So the third one is deep pain and trauma. Be careful who you share your trauma with, okay? Because sometimes you want to get past it. Sometimes you want to leave it behind. Things that happened 10, 20 years ago, you really want to leave it behind, right? It's been a trauma that triggers you. But when you inform the wrong person of your past pain and trauma, and they keep bringing back up and you can't move on, that's going to hurt you. When those people tend to use those same trauma and to keep reminding you, it feels like you can't heal. And these are the people who knows how to weaponize your past trauma and pain to haunt you. And that's something that you don't want to do, especially when you're trying to, move past it. You just want to leave it behind, right? You want to evolve. You want to become a better version of yourself. So these are things that you really have to be careful with. This world that we live in, we're supposed to love each other with compassion and forgive. But we live in a world now that it's best to just hold on to it and speak to a therapist if that's the case. Because people nowadays that you can't trust. Your intention may be pure, but on the flip side of it, they don't mean you any good. And that's why you have to be careful. Another thing too, with your past pain and trauma, they also use it to blackmail you. Something that you don't want out publicly. When they want to get something from you or they want to get the best out of you, they'll use those things against you. And that you don't want. Sometimes you may have your children around, your families and friends, and there's certain things that you may not want to come out, but guess what? They'll use it against you. I'm sorry to be the one to enlighten you on this, but the truth is the truth. These things really happen. I have people around me who have gone through these situations, and I too have gone through some of these situations. So I'm not telling you things that I don't know. Okay? So I just want you to lock that in. Now, the fourth one we want to talk about is don't share too much of your past relationship with people, or if you're planning to date, or, none of that stuff. It's not good, because you may share your relationship with someone or a friend or a family member, and let's say you decide that you want to forgive your spouse or forgive your boyfriend or your girlfriend, right? So you can look past it, but whatever information you told them at the time when you were going through something, they won't look at that person the same. They're going to always have it in the back of their mind. They won't forgive them. They will talk about you. They will tell you how dumb you are. They will tell you all type of things. And guess what? They can't get past that other person. So it's always in the back of their mind. Okay? So although you can forgive and say, you know what? Let me give that person one more chance. Or let me just try to, forgive and forget. They won't get past it. Okay? So let's say you and your spouse went through something really bad, and due to what was going on, you were so upset about it that you wanted to speak to a friend about it, and you went on and start bad talking, and you're talking about you're done, this is the last time, da 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 da, all these different things, right? And so something changed. Y'all were, in your bed, and you're talking about how much you're gonna put things behind, you're gonna forgive, move on, or whatever. The information that you gave your friend, and you come back out, or let's say you went to a birthday event, right? Based on that information you told that person, best believe they're going to hate them. And you're happy and you move past that, but they can't seem to move on. Sometimes you see them side-eyeing them because they can't get past it, or they hate the other person because of what you decide to share with them. And those are the things that you have to be careful. In today's world, you have to use emotional intelligence, right? If you feel some type of way, we have information here and we have tools here that you can trust in, right? I'm not going to tell you like mankind nowadays is evil. And I'm not saying you shouldn't trust people, but you really have to spend quality time to know the person who you're sharing your information with. Because when you can get past and forgive, they won't. And every time you get around that person, you start to feel weird or uncomfortable, or perhaps your spouse can't go with you anymore because they start to look at your spouse a different way, or they maybe talk in the minute you get. So you just have to be careful. Okay. Last but not least, the fifth thing that you should never tell anyone is about your dreams and your goals. Okay. Your dream and goals, sometimes when you speak to the wrong person about your dream or your vision on anything that you aspire to do, that could be a business, based on what they know about you or your past or your capabilities, sometimes they will use that against you, okay? They will also project their fears on you. They'll think that you're not capable of doing it. You're not financially stable to do it, right? You're not educated enough to do it. And therefore, these people can position themselves before you. So it's kind of like you sold your vision to them because they feel like you're not capable enough to do it. And so, like for me, it happened to me twice. I shared my dream. Ooh, there's a bee somewhere. Come on now. Sorry. Now let me share something that happened to me in the past. I had this wonderful vision and idea to start up something, but I was not financially stable at the time, but I was working on it. I had my 9-to-5 job, and every week I was planning towards it, like I was saving towards it, because it took time for me to formulate everything together. But because I was so happy about my ideas, I couldn't keep it in, and I went on to speak to someone about it, and this person, they were financially stable. In a couple months, I saw the project and all of that, and I was kind of curious. I said, wait, this is something I wanted to do, but I didn't know the person who I shared it with was the one that put it together based on my ideas, right? The thing is, they silently launched it without me not knowing, and after a couple months, I found out that this was all my vision and idea. Oof. So with this individual, I sold my vision to them, my ideas, my business plan, and they capitalized on it before me because they were financially stable. So, you just have to be careful with those who you share your information with. And these are all life lessons for me. Not everything that I've gone through, but I've been around people who have encountered it. And sometimes I'll, learn from their mistakes or whatever they have gone through. I learned that to apply that in my life moving forward, because it only makes sense. If you're around people that goes through things, and if you're aware of it, why repeat the same? I don't want to repeat it. So it taught me a lot how to move forward with my life. And yes, we do evolve. And don't get me wrong. Yes, as people, we evolve. We change over a period of time. But your peace right now is what's important. And if you can mitigate of not sharing too much so that it doesn't haunt you, it doesn't come back, it doesn't embarrass you, it doesn't mess up your life, right? The things that you aspire to do, you want to work towards it as opposed to people messing that up. So I just wanted to speak to you on that, and I hope this message finds you well. Based on these 5 things that I just said, have you encountered any? Share your thoughts with me. I would love to speak to you about that. Let's talk about it.